Welcome back to Y&R For Life, where we talk about all things Y&R related. We talk about what's going on, my predictions, what do I think's going to happen. Hey, we even talk about fashion on the show because I'm a big time fashion girl, so we got to spill the tea about that from time to time. If you're new to this channel, my question is, what took you so long to get here? And if you are returning, what's up? Long time no see. Well, what can I say about this week before we get into it? I was not impressed. Just not impressed. It was sleepy. It it lacked that juju. Yeah. And I'll tell you why. Honestly, this week I just kind of want to focus on certain things and just kind of, expound on that, if you will. So we're not really going to be doing like this whole play by play, but we're just going to discuss a couple of the characters. So again, it was lackluster. It was all those different things. I mean, I thought last week was a little bit meh. This week, it was too much. Anyway, couple of disclaimers before we get into it. If you don't want to know what's going on, you kind of want to get caught up on your own, this might not be what you want to see or hear, but I am so grateful that you are here. And if you like what you see, you like what you hear, it would be so great if you hit that like and subscribe button, the one down below. And don't forget to hit the bell notification so that you don't miss a single video that I post here on Y&R For Life. And lastly, if I happen to leave something out, it could be because I plumb forgot, or it just really wasn't newsworthy. So I just didn't bother mentioning it. Nature of the beast, I like to say. It is what it is. But again, this week is going to be just a trifle different. Okay. Let's see. Who do I want to discuss first? Okay, well, we'll discuss Lucy. Lucy is going to go into she's going to segue into another portion, but Lucy, Daniel, Heather. The old family, new family. I just don't get them. I don't even know why they're still on the show, but I guess it's because of Lucy's part that's probably going to happen. Again, my prediction. I believe I said my prediction. But if I didn't, then I will say it. And if I did, then it's just reiteration. Okay. All right, so Heather decides that she's, wants to hightail the whole family off to Portugal. Once again, Heather, you have no job. Daniel has no job. We know little Lucy, she don't have no job. So how you guys get into Portugal is beyond me. But anyway, she's all hot and heavy. She wants to go to Portugal, see Paul, then, Lucy could show her father all her, the restaurants that she liked, and she can go and reacclimate with her friends over there. Blah, blah, blah. She's even asking Daniel if he has his passport up to date. And he's like, yeah, I renewed that. Have you ever seen anybody do that? Anyway. Yeah, so little Lucy decides to say, is it okay if I just don't go and sit this one out? Because everything's going well for me over here. And I have these new friends, and I don't want to lose momentum with the friendships that I'm building. Yeah. And also, Dad doesn't want to go either. Well, Daniel looked like he was a deer caught in headlights, and, cat's out of the bag. So it just basically, took Heather want, right down. her whole spirits just left the building. And so now she goes off saying that she's going to basically cancel all the plans. But they're like, you should go. And she's like, no, no, no. And yeah. So Lucy put her foot in her mouth and threw Daniel under the bus, her father, at the same time to suit her fancy. Side note, don't you think Lucy is a bit of a faith stalker? Again, this is what my prediction is. She's going to get herself into a world of trouble when it comes to alcohol. Like I said last week, I feel like everything is turning into a public service announcement. From Ashley to Sharon, and we will talk about Sharon ever so briefly. Yeah, just everything is turning into a whole public service announcement. And I get it. You want to raise awareness to all these different things. But can we just have like a real crazy storyline that has nothing to do with like reality? When I watch soaps, I want to like escape from my week and really just get into it where it's so far-fetched and so crazy that it actually makes my week. Am I the only one where this is concerned? I don't want to have to think too hard. I digress. That was my little rant. But yeah, she's kind of turning into like a complete Faith stalker. And Faith is trying to, like puppy dog her head and, yeah, well, yeah, we can hang out and, oh, there's a party. Oh, okay. And yeah, you could tag along. So Lucy's all gung-ho. She wants to go to this party. But Faith kind of like verbal diarrheaed it and said what she said. And now Lucy thinks she's with the in crowd, with these college people. So that's her whole MO as to why she doesn't want to go to Portugal, because she wants to go to this party and be with the in crowd. That's really what her MO is. Okay, well, we basically push forward to the point where she ends up meeting Faith with her friend. Don't ask me what the friend's name was. Not important. She had a speaking role. Bravo, casting. And she said a few words. I mean, literally a few. I think she used the line, "That's weird." Something like that. And Faith had to break it down to Lucy ever so gently about, yeah, there's going to be drinking there, and maybe you can tag along for the next one. I know what I said, but maybe you could tag along for the next one. Left Lucy brokenhearted and, almost in tears. But she lied. She lied to her father and basically said, yeah, everything's good. I'm going to this party. Lucy, no. Because she was even saying to Faith, but I thought you didn't drink. Yeah, well, I don't, but I don't want you. Could she just have spelled it out? You are like not the age group that I want to hang around with. And thanks for your little bracelet, but like carry on. No, Faith just wants to be nice. And Lucy, I can see it now. Again, like I believe I said this. It's going to be like Cassie 2.0. And Daniel, you should have said something to her by now. Maybe that would have, ixnayed her on being Faith stalker. Just saying. So that's pretty much them. And side plate of Phyllis, who is trying to assert herself with their relationship, and Heather isn't having it, and Daniel isn't having it. And he basically said, Mom, stop meddling, stop meddling, stop meddling. What? I've always rooted for you too, she told Heather. That's why I went to Portugal specifically to bring you back. Okay, like, whatever. That's neither here nor there. Okay, speaking of Phyllis, because I'm over Lucy. I see the signs. Hopefully everybody else can see it. And if this doesn't happen, I'd be shocked. Then they would have had like probably a change of writers in between why that does not occur. Okay. So speaking of Phyllis, another prediction, if I never predicted it before, her and Nick will probably end up dipsy doodling together. I can't say that they'll be in a full-fledged relationship again. However, Nick's looking at her like she's like scrumptious. Nick, I like the two of you together. I thought you had chemistry way back when, even though circumstances, um, should I use the word circumstances? Like, you cheated. Okay, whatever. Like, not that I'm an advocate of cheating, people. Don't come at me. However, this is soap opera land. You did what you did. You done told Faith all these different things. And yeah. So, he's looking at her like, yeah, piece of meat. And she's looking at him like, yeah, that's a nice scrumptious steak. But they just haven't, clicked together yet. And I feel like it's going to happen. However, there might be a little snafu to the plan because Sharon is still a hot mess. She is going from 0 to 100 back to 0 in lightning speed. She's telling people off left, right, and center, and then the next minute she's like, like cherry blossoms. It's just, what kind of medication is she on? Why was there a need to change her medication if it was working for her? I'm confused. What kind of crackpot doctor do you have that felt the need to, at the 9th inning, this, we're in like the home stretch, bottom of the 9th, and then all of a sudden, mid-play, let's switch her medication. I'm so confused. So Nick and Phyllis are together at Society. They see Sharon sitting there waiting for her takeout, which that seemed like it took forever because, once again, nobody cooks at home. And if they happen to have a family meal, it's usually on the holiday, but whatever. And so Nick's like, have you noticed any he says this to Phyllis, have you noticed any sort of like weird behavior from Sharon? Because I feel you have, but like, can you expound on this? And she's like, yeah, well, the other day I was at the coffee house and everything seemed cordial, and the next thing you know, she just flipped the script on me. I don't know if it was to do with like a Danish, a croissant or something. I don't know. At first I thought she was, doing a ha 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 joke on Phyllis, but then I realized, no, she was like fully mad. So he's like, okay, look, I shouldn't share this with you, but XYZ is the case. He's like, so is it okay if I invite her over to the table to wait for her takeout and we just kind of observe what's going on, her behavior? So she's like, huh, okay. So Sharon comes over, and yeah, you could tell the apprehension on Sharon's part was so thick, you could have chopped that like master chef. Like, holy smokes. And she ended up saying a few little words, and that was it. She was out. I'm like, okay, this is getting a little on the weird side, but again, this is just me. This is my take. Um, I hope that they come to a head where this is concerned and tell us what the dickens is going on. I say, this is me. Produce this doctor. I want to see who this guy is. Knowing our luck, it could have been Alan, not Alan, Martin. Maybe he didn't die. Wouldn't that be something? Martin's been the one treating her for all these years undercover, and then next thing you know, oh, what a mess. Okay, I know that's a far reach, but wouldn't it be something? See, this is the kind of mindless stuff that I would love to see so that I don't have to think too hard about it. It's just so far fetched and crazy that it makes my week. Okay, who should we talk about next? I think I'm going to leave Chelsea and Adam to the end because that is one piece of nonsense that really just, how should I put this? It flooded the week with their craziness. Like the whole week was just flooded with those two and their nonsense. But that's, again, neither here nor there. Okay, so Jack and Diane, they basically want to do like some reverse psychology on Kyle, which I feel like it started to work. Sorry, a frog in my throat or something anyway, but I feel like it started to work because he came in all pompous, that, oh, whatever he said, not important. And eventually they were like, well, all the best, Kyle. I wish you well, wee. And he kind of was like, wait a minute. In his mind, like, I didn't get a comeback from these two? Like nothing? So my sarcasm went in vain? And they just toddled off, went to Jabot, and yeah, we're like, I hope we did the right thing. And okay, well, we shall soon see, because again, Kyle is, I don't give him wrong on certain things as it pertains to little Harrison, but when it comes to Jabot and Glissade, he is a royal disaster. And we know that it's going to end up in disaster. It's going to end up in disaster for him. It's going to end up for disaster with Audra, and Victor will come out smelling like roses. Like, these two are like, dare I say, Chippendale they were some smart ones. These two have missed the boat on intelligence when it comes to Victor. Like, you don't realize you are a pawn in his game by now? Yeah, okay, whatever. All right. So Kyle is like, every chance he gets, he's telling Summer, like, I'm the biological father. You're not his biological mother to Harrison. And yeah, got to a point where they were at society, and Summer, she nearly was like screaming up in the joint, and Phyllis walks in and was like, "Oh, this can't continue. No, no, no." After Kyle storms out, she's like, "Summer, no." And it basically says, "Well, when lawyers are involved, like you cannot act like this. This is unacceptable. Like you can't do this." And she's like, "Well, every chance that Kyle gets, he says that I'm not Harrison's biological mother and I'm the mother that he knows. And it really hurt." "Oh, I'm sure it does there, sunshine. However, you also have to face reality." And she learns that reality she will have to face. Okay, so Phyllis again gives her little words of wisdom to Summer. And again, Summer, we don't know. She's a loose cannon at this point. And Kyle threatened to take Claire. Well, he threatened to take Claire with him on the trip to Paris. Was it Paris? Where the Dickens were they? I think it was Paris. Yeah, to Paris. And Summer's like, "Hey, so you guys are gonna play like little house?" He's like, "Well, why wouldn't I bring her? She's his nanny." Like, and speaking of Claire, oh my Lanta. Okay, so Claire is there talking to Mumsy about her whole woes. And basically, she's like, "I've never been in a relationship. I don't think she's ever been kissed." Like, she doesn't know how to react. She doesn't know how to feel. These are all brand new feelings for her. And Victoria's like, "Oh, really? Oh, okay." And so Victoria is trying to be, mother of the year, trying to help her navigate through this. Well, Claire, I dare say you got the hots for Kyle as he has the hots for you. And before you know it, you'll probably just jump on down to third base. I'm just saying. So, whatever emotions or feelings that you have never experienced, they will come in like a mighty rushing wind. And yeah. So, we shall see where that goes. Claire's a little lackluster for me, as is Victoria. And what the dickens was going on with Victoria's hair again? Can we not? Where are the stylists, the hairdressers? Put some hold spray in there. Like, she looks a mess. Her hair always looks like she just rolled out of bed and wherever it landed, that's where it ends. Ugh. Okay. Nikki and Jack, they basically had a conversation at society. Jack had invited Nikki for coffee, to sit down and have coffee with him. She's like, "Yeah, no problem." And, Jack was apprehensive because he's sure Victor doesn't have his little henchman. And she's like, "Well, he can't choose my friends and he never will. And yeah, let's go have some coffee." Throughout the conversation, Nikki, verbal diarrhea, basically talks about Diane and how she miraculously has accomplished all the things that she, I guess, wanted to do or have since coming back to Genoa City. And don't you find that quite interesting? And Jack basically went off on Nikki and said, "Look, you're talking about the woman I love, and like you just won't give her the benefit of the doubt." And this just went on to the point where he was like, "I'm done here." Bam! leaves some money on the table. He storms out. Don't ask me how she ended up at Jabot at pretty much the same time he walked into his office when he left her at the table. Did he take the long route, which it's probably across the street? And how fast did she get there? I was like, oh, okay. So she's like, I'm trying to be cordial for your sake, but I just, and she just went again about Diane. And Jack was like, he toned it down a little bit, but you could tell he's still upset. Okay, I still want to believe that Diane's on the up and up, but anything is possible. The script could be flipped at any point in time. It is what it is. So we'll see where that goes. Victor, speaking of Victor, he basically summons his children. This is after he had a conversation with Adam talking about, so are you going to be taking over Newman Media? And he's like, yeah, I'll take the job, but, I have some conditions. And he's like, well, I didn't know that there was conditions to be had. And basically, Adam's like, look, I'm not going to do anything nefarious. He didn't use that word, but I'm not going to do any tricks or gimmicks or no, not happening. I'm just going to do the job because I'm good at it, and that's the end of the story. Boom, bam. Victor is like, okay. So that threw Adam off. Like, oh, no pushback? And he was like, sure, no problem. Like, whatever. And he left it at that. So he summons all, the three kids, because, Abby, she is never involved. So Victoria, Nicholas, and Adam to his office and basically has this conversation about how Adam's going to be taking over Newman Media. And Nicholas was like, oh, just so you know, don't get comfortable because mom's going to come back and she's taking back that position. So, yeah, I don't care what is what, but yeah. Why are we so concerned about this? Like, this is not anything that we need to concern ourselves with at this time. Let the guy do what he wants to do with the company and just leave it there. So they basically pull Adam aside and was like, what's really going on with our father? Because this just seems a little too easy. Something. Well, Adam says whatever, and at this point, we're going to see where that's going to go. I don't know. Who else do I really want to talk about? I don't really want to, I guess I have to mention them. Billy and Sally. This will be the last thing I talk about because the rest of it was just, yeah. So Billy, Sally, Chelsea, and Adam. That is a mess beyond a mess. Okay, so Chelsea and Adam get some good news from the doctor saying that it looks like Connor's turning a new leaf and he's on the upward swing. That's great. Very happy for that, if that is truly going to be the case. However, Chelsea and Adam, known as Chatham, they are living with the biggest set of guilt ever, to the point where they just look guilty, to the point where I thought Chelsea was going to have a heart attack. She was almost in convulsions in the park. Oh my, oh my God. Get a hold of yourself. Like, she's there talking to Adam about how she nearly slipped a couple of times to tell Billy, as well as to tell Sally, and he's like, "Oh, you better not, like this was the circumstance, but we both love our current significant others, so like you don't need to go there. Get a hold of yourself, Chelsea. Get a hold of yourself." What's to stop me from slipping? Because I almost slipped. I can't take this, Adam. The guilt. So once again, I say this pretty much this entire week, it was flooded with the two of them going back and forth. And then Sally and Billy playing like Columbo, trying to figure out all the clues as to, why are they acting so strange? What happened to even Billy confronted Adam and was like, what went on? And because I know you did something, like, how Billy and Sally have not put two and two. I'm waiting to see who is going to call a spade first. Because I don't think that Adam or Chelsea will spill the beans. But I feel as though somebody's going to figure it out and then approach whomever, and that's when the beans will be spilt, because it will be plaguing them for so long that they just can't help but spit it out. So I'm so sick. I want this to be over. One night of that, and this is what we get? A whole week of this nonsense? You should have seen me spit it out. Spit it out. Chelsea, Adam, I don't care who, spit it out. This was me like this whole week. I couldn't take it. Writers, help them spit it out. Somebody, anybody. I don't care. Even if it's Billy or Sally, just somebody get this over and done with. Ugh. But anyway, that's how the cookie crumbles. So there you have it, folks. That was this week. A set of craziness, a lot of yawning. It was just lacking luster. No real juju. It was just meh. It was just there. So if you stuck around to the end of this video, I'm so grateful. I appreciate your time. I love you lots. Just thank you for being on this wild roller coaster of a ride with me. And again, it's all for the love of the show. So we're going to see what this week holds. Again, fingers crossed, it will be worlds better than this week that just, man. Again, all in my opinion. We'll see what happens. And, I will catch you on the next video. You take care. Bye.